one thing that I'm going to ask is, which may not make sense too much, is AI. So talk a bit about how is AI changing, transforming, whether for better or for worse, the whole platform engineering discipline right now.
I think if anyone tells you they know the answer to this, they're not being truthful.
You're not truthful and tell me the answer.
Sure. I think more of it is like, what am I seeing in the industry? And the reality of it is, during the keynote yesterday here, they talked about like what AI and like the 0-day findings that we've seen over the last few months really highlights is the practices that we need and reliability and resilience that we've should have been doing for 20 years are just getting highlighted, right? And so this is true in platform engineering, right? So having policy as code in your stack, right? Having appropriately scoped RBAC. These things are what's going to allow us, again, to basically feel comfortable allowing AI agents, MCP servers inside of our stacks, pushing changes to it, right? Because everything's appropriately scoped. It's no different than giving an intern access to your cluster, no different than giving a senior developer access or an SRE access to your cluster, right? And so that's kind of the mentality, is having the appropriately scoped system so that when you start enabling these services, you can feel comfortable.
How are you folks using AI, for internally to build a platform? Or of course, Akamai serves a lot of customers. So how are you also building the platform to serve AI workloads?
So today, my team, I'll speak from a today standpoint, right? Because there's some ideas we have that are kind of propagating that are going to improve things. But today, we have AI code reviews validating what we're doing. It gives us a second or a fourth set of eyes on everything we're pushing out. We have the ability to see if we see failures in our testing stack. We have AI review those logs. And so we test our platform end to end. We're able to build a cluster and tear it down. And the goal is to have a very clear understanding of what failed during our testing cycle. We have AI reading these logs and kicking it out to us. That's really cut down a lot of time of my engineers going, where's the error? Because you have thousands of lines of logs, and then it helps them find exactly kind of what's going on. So those are two really practical examples of where AI is working. And then the thing that we're working on is using a service called K-Agent. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, right? To extend the ability to have an agent interact with a Kubernetes cluster and have someone in a more of a support role be able to ask you questions. Hey, what's wrong with this cluster? Can you give me feedback to this cluster? And that's all really, really new. And very, very well. And the challenge we worry about is being well scoped, having appropriate RBAC, right? We don't want it to touch the cluster. We just want it to be able to give us information out of the cluster at this point. And I think that's kind of where a lot of people are sitting, right? Like, some people are really bullish and they're like, let's go ahead and, put controllers and agents inside the cluster and let it have read-write access. I'm more conservative in saying let's have read access. Let's get the benefit out of visibility, and then we can grow and learn as the industry does.
And what is K-Agent, you mentioned?
K-Agent, how do I explain this? It's basically, I want to call it an agent gateway, right? It gives you the ability to interact with agents, give it access to the cluster it's running on, and also tie into MCP servers. Mm-hmm. So it gives you a chat interface to be able to ask it questions about the.
So it kind of becomes a bridge between agents and MCP server.
So the agents and the models all run outside the cluster, and it just gives you the ability to like say, here are my logs, go look at it. Or here, yeah. No, I'm probably explaining that poorly. I've got very, very smart group of people who work with me, and day after KubeCon last year, they demoed this and it was amazing. And so we've been working on implementing it.